Hello everybody, welcome back to the United Stand. Erik ten Hag's press conference ahead of the game at the weekend tomorrow around 3 o'clock versus Wolves. Rashford is a doubt. He's going to be injured, it's looking like. But on the bright side, Varane is back and hopefully will be involved, or by Erik ten Hag's comments, will be involved in the matchday squad tomorrow. What does this mean for Luke Shaw? Does Varane go straight back in to centre-back, pushing Luke Shaw out to left-back? Luke Shaw has been pivotal and very, very good at centre-back, but I think we know that his best position has been left back, and he's much more creative and can get forward, and I feel like we have been missing that creativity when he has been playing at centre back. But Marcus Rashford being a doubt is definitely the biggest thing to come out of this press conference. Marcus Rashford is Manchester United's top goal scorer this season, pretty much so far from the most recent games when when Marcus Rashford doesn't score, Manchester United doesn't score. No one else will score. So to have him unavailable is a bit of a stinker, I'm not going to lie. And also, obviously, Garnacho was in the matchday squad for the previous game. I'm going to say he's going to be in this one as well. Obviously, he wasn't given any minutes at the previous game. Is he going to be? I'm going to say he's not fit enough to start. So that is, it's not what you want to see or hear. It's not what you want to see or hear. Marcus Rashford being unavailable is a huge blow because, as I say, where do the goals come from? And I want to get a poll straight in the chat, get right amongst it. I see a lot of comments coming in, top four gone. You know, we've got to be optimistic. We've got ourselves into this position, but poll straight away. And I want everybody's predictions because a lot of people, you know, Beth was saying before the show, do you reckon Erik ten Hag is just almost throwing the fishing rod out there and trying to get a little nibble? Do we actually think, because he has done this before, do we actually think Marcus Rashford will play tomorrow? We've heard that he's a doubt before and he has been available or he has played some part. But do we think Marcus Rashford is going to play some part in the match tomorrow? Because I'm not going to lie, he would be a very, very big miss for Manchester United. We know how good he can be, and for the majority of the season, how good he has been. Obviously, the previous games, he's almost reverted a little bit back to old Rashford in the sense of playing for himself, shooting from silly angles. Maybe that's because he's trying to, I'm trying to think of play devil's advocate here. Maybe that's because he's worried about how the team is performing, so he's trying to put, you know, carry everyone on his back and trying to make things work. He was dropping a hell of a lot into the kind of deep positions in midfield, trying to get on the ball and then just kind of standing there and not doing anything, which isn't great. I'm going to click yes. I do think Rashford will play. A lot of people are saying no straight off the bat. It is quite even though, 56 to 44%. I'm guessing you say your name. Ten Hag needs to start Garnacho over Sancho. Well, this is something that we can obviously touch on as well because I do imagine, Erik ten Hag did comment on this because he was asked about Garnacho obviously being an unused substitute, the fitness worries or fitness, his fitness is improving. Ten Hag does say he's obviously had one more week in training, so he is available. And we've seen that he can bring something extra to the team, which is undoubtable, right? Garnacho has proven, I don't think he can necessarily, I mean, technically, age-wise, he can 100% go down as a youth player, but right now he's a core first-team player. In terms of his ability, his contract will now reflect that he is a first-team player, an established member in the team. So for me, the quicker we get him back on the pitch, the better. You know, we've seen what he's been able to do when he's come on late in games or just impact the game when he's been quick to sometimes be chucked off a couple of times, but he's not scared. He's raw talent and he just runs at defenders and he makes the defenders absolutely cack themselves. I'm not going to lie. Oru says Rashford's form has really dipped. I mean, yeah, it's not ideal. This is a pivotal part in the season, right? We're coming to the last 4-5 games, depending on, you know, how many games you've played in the season. And this is the time where you need the majority of your players to be in form. You want your team to be in form. And that is ultimately why Manchester City are going on to win the league. They have come into form at the right period of time and they're having an absolute blinder. But Okie dokie, yeah. So Rashford came off the bench against Wolves last time, didn't he, actually? I'm just getting that in my ear. That wasn't due to injury. That was actually due to disciplinary issues. I think he had a line, didn't he? Missed his alarm. So, yeah, Erik ten Hag put his foot down and basically brought him off the bench. He scored the winner, which is great. Can there be, and I see a lot of people actually saying, stupid poll. Yeah, I see you. Have a day off. Still nearly got 1,000 votes. Can't be that stupid. But, you know, when Erik ten Hag has done this in the past, whether he's meant to do it in the sense of baiting the manager, or maybe the manager into a way of thinking, a false sense of security, maybe, I'm not sure, but he could play. A lot of people in the chat saying Bruno false 9. You never quite know. Dylan with a super chat. Having Varane back is a massive boost, by the way. Yes, let's touch a little bit on Rafa Varane, because I did say, what's the chances that he does come straight back into the team? I'm not going to lie, I don't see him coming straight back in. As much as I'd love him to, I just don't know. I don't know. He's obviously missed, what was he? He got injured in the 2-2 game, didn't he, against Sevilla, and hasn't played since. So that's, what, about a month? So to not feature for a month, I don't know how long of that period was out of training as well, to get thrown in. You know, it is a big game against Wolves coming up. It's a big top 4 game for us. So, yeah, but to have him involved is huge. And ultimately, what we want is we want him ready to go for the FA Cup final in June, early June, don't we? We need him ready. Obviously, we know Lisandro Martinez is not going to be available. His season is done. So, Varane and Shaw, centre-backs, maybe Varane, Lindelof. I think Lindelof has done more than enough to prove that he can partner Varane. And then that obviously pushes Shaw back out onto that left-hand side. And it will be interesting to see, because we've had quite a versatile back four in the sense of Dalot has played both right-back and left-back. Shaw has played both centre-back and left-back. What kind of happens when Varane comes in as to who then becomes the starting right-back? Because at the minute, we're kind of playing makeshift left-backs, aren't we? Malacia has been playing left-back, but then you've had Dalot there as well. Shaw in centre-back. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And it'll be interesting to see what you guys think in terms of who actually plays at the back. Get your comments in. Goppy says, playing mind games with Rashford doubt. I mean, yeah, he very much might be. But Varane being available is huge. There was also another super chat here from Keel. Rashford must look up for the pass more. I mean, Rashford is definitely improved 100% this season. It's undoubtedly his worst season last season. He was crap, in all honesty. For whatever reason, he wasn't very good, but it wasn't just him. The whole team was rubbish. So to kind of flip it on its head, he's done completely opposite. He's our top goal scorer by an absolute mile, landslide. He's been unreal. Some people still don't think he is necessarily that good, in all honesty. And I mean this in no disrespect. You're obviously entitled to your opinion. People, that's why we have such a big community over here, that everyone obviously gets to speak their mind. Ricky doesn't like Rashford and is very much under the impression that even without Rashford, someone else will score the goals. I think recently, that's not been happening, has it? Rashford hasn't been scoring and no one else has been kind of stepping up. We are short for options when it comes to strikers as well. Rashford having to play a makeshift position there. Weghorst, Martial, even when he's available, is not firing. So it's not ideal. It is not ideal. But there was also a little bit about Amad Diallo. He did get asked on his future because obviously Amad Diallo has been playing unbelievable, hasn't he? He's been playing unreal for Sunderland and scoring, I think he's their top goal scorer at Sunderland, so very, very good. He basically says about how loan players, obviously to get development out of them and to bring the best out of them, you want them to get first team minutes and first team football, develop at another club rather than just rotting away on the bench or playing under 21s or 18s football. Because basically, if you're good enough, you're old enough, and that is what Amad is proving, right? So he's saying here, obviously make progress to bring them back, and that is the aim of a loan. So he's not really giving too much away, is he? He's basically saying, we've got to assess in the pre-season tour and over the summer, and I think that's what Ten Hag is going to do for probably 85-90% of the players, in all honesty, that are at Manchester United, and the ones out on loan as well. You look at Alvaro Fernandez, you got Mati Kovar as well, decent keeper. But this is a big thing, because he did get asked about having no midweek game. Off the top of my head, I don't know if producer Ryan can tell me in my ear or if he can look into it, but this must be the first time in a long time that Manchester United this season haven't had a midweek game, right? It's our 60 odd since September. There you go. What's that? September, October, November. Blimey, too many months to even worry about. But yeah, that's the first time since September that we're not playing a midweek game. So to have that extra, just even recovery time on the pitch, time on the training pitch to work on little things, and Erik Ten Hag says here, we needed it. We got some energy back, so a lot of energy and joy on the pitch. We have been able to work on some details. Now, this is huge, because I think undoubtedly these players are absolutely knackered. Whether that should be a suitable excuse or not is not for me to judge, in all honesty. Enjoy Writing says, replace McCarthy as striker coach. We want goals. Well, to throw it back at you, Benny McCarthy actually got Marcus Rashford scoring goals and using his left foot and scoring headers. So, you know, I think we just ultimately need better strikers, in all honesty. You know, Weghorst couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo, whatever Adam says. But no, what was I saying? Basically, having no midweek game has been vital. As much as it's been a little bit weird from here in the studio, we haven't known what to quite do with ourselves. We're so used to, you know, yesterday we were saying we should have been playing Juventus in the semi-final of the Europa League. Now, that didn't happen. So we were like, what do we do? We're not used to this. It's uncharted territory here. So the fact that Erik Ten Hag is saying, you know, we've been able to work on various bits and bobs in the training pitch is hopefully given us a kick up the backside, and Erik Ten Hag's been able to instill or reinstill that winning mentality. Want to go out there, win against Wolves. That again put less pressure on the remaining games. I think the nerves also was brought up in question in the next question. Erik Ten Hag talks about the nerves. He says, no, we are convinced by what we are doing. We have had a lot of success, which, yeah, it is true, winning a lot of games. We've also been spanked a couple of times, though. Instructions are clear, but we have to execute them. When we do that, we are successful. I mean, of course, when you execute the instructions and the instructions are going to be win, then yes, you will be successful. I mean, at the end of the day, no pundit really put Manchester United in the top four this season, or probably winning the Carabao Cup. You can say what you want about our run-in for the lead-up of the games we were playing. Yeah, we didn't play a big team. Well, the big teams didn't get through, right? You know, it's luck of the draw. That's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. And I think ultimately we have had I wouldn't say it's necessarily a successful season, but we have been more successful than what people would have touted us to be. Now, obviously, expectations, etc., changed during the season also. So if we weren't to go and get top four now, I mean, all blooming hell would break loose. I'm not going to lie. It wouldn't be very good. Erik Ten Hag does touch a little bit on De Gea as well, and his response to his mistake versus West Ham. He does say he has been good. I mean, this is one thing, because I haven't actually read this quote. So before I read this, I guarantee he won't say anything obviously bad about De Gea or any player for the remainder of the season. Well, because he doesn't want them to, you don't want to knock their confidence. You don't want anything, you know, kind of their mentality to shift. He says, yeah, he's been good. We cannot ignore it, but individual mistakes are part of football. It happens, correct? This is part of it and part of the reset from this week. Individual mistakes are obviously a huge thing in football. Goalkeeper is a very, very difficult position, because ultimately you're the one that's picking the ball out of the net every time it goes past you. But David De Gea has had the most errors leading to goals in the Premier League so far this season. I think joint with Lloris, or maybe even more. I'm not sure. Enjoy Writing with another super chat. Anthony and Martial, 8 league goals combined between them. Is it right? I heard this, and it sounds ridiculous, and it might just be so ridiculous it's true, that Anthony Martial has scored 9 league goals since 2019 or something like that. Is that actually true? Or is it like... I find that baffling. I mean, yes, he's hardly been available this season. Obviously, he went on loan for a portion of last season as well. So, you know, these things can be misconstrued. But that's bad, isn't it? That's really, really bad, in all honesty. That is really, really bad. Sancho, Martial and Antony is depressing me. Now, look, I think this Sancho situation, the Sancho performances, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen shortly. I think he needs a big kick up the backside. I think you write this season off when it comes to Sancho personally, and you just look forward. You look forward to what can hopefully be a successful season next season for him. A little bit on Liverpool's top 4 hopes, he was asked. He says, it's clear we know that, but it's not important because we have everything in our hands. What is important is the opponent we face tomorrow, Wolves. We have to take them seriously. Of course, you take everyone seriously. Yes, a lot of people will be looking at this game against Wolves, probably thinking, you know, they're secure. I'm pretty sure they're secure. They can't get relegated anymore, so they're not fighting for anything. I don't believe in that. Every team that comes to Manchester United is fighting for something. You're on the main stage at Old Trafford. You're in the biggest stadium in England. Not literally, I mean, just Old Trafford is, you know, a beautiful stadium. It's a few leaks here and there, but don't go in the toilets is what I'll say either. They're pretty poor. But the fact of you need to take every game seriously, and the fact that it is in our hands is obviously vital. If we win our game in hand, which I believe is against Chelsea, which is, I don't know the date, Thursday. I don't know if it's next Thursday or the Thursday after. I can't remember. But that game, that's the game you need to win all of them. But that's the game, isn't it? Because depending on what's happened, you want to win your game in hand, and then I think we're 4 points above Liverpool. It's huge. It is huge. It's vital. It's almost just kind of forget Liverpool and just do your own thing. You keep winning, you know. It only becomes a big game if you don't win. There you go. Take that off the dome. Erik ten Hag does have this to say about Wolves. He says they've done a great job. Focus on that, but they also have deficits. Take advantage of that. So he's pointing out that there are some weaknesses in Wolves' game. Be interested to see what he thinks they are. But there's 2 players that always play very well, and one of them usually scores a screamer once a year, and it's usually against us, and that's Ruben Neves. Obviously, his future's a little bit uncertain as well. Could he be a Manchester United target? I'm not sure. But you've also got João Moutinho, who's about 45, but somehow still kicking on. Brilliant player, not going to lie, absolutely brilliant player. Him and Ruben Neves, unbelievable in midfield. They've also got Adama Traore. I'm not sure kind of what season he's having, whether he'll come off the bench. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think for me, it'll be a difficult game, 100%, because games against Wolves, they're always decided by one goal. And it's never like a 4-3. It's always a 1-0 or a close 2-1. Obviously, Rashford came off, as I said earlier, came off the bench and managed to get the winner. I think we've had before, I don't know if it was Wolves in the Cup, you had Rashford scoring some deflected goal as well. I think that was in the COVID season, actually. That was ages ago. So yeah, they're almost a little bogey team when it comes to scoring goals. And Manchester United struggle to score goals anyway. So hopefully I'm not jinxing it. George Forster says Garnacho has to start. I mean, I'm down for that. If he's fit enough to start, then especially if Rashford is going to be out also, because it will be a very, very difficult game going forward as well. And if the weaknesses are the fullbacks, then we need to capitalise on it. Yeah, I mean, forget Rashford. Tons of goals in Martial and Weghorst. Do I sense a tad bit of sarcasm? I mean, Martial and Weghorst is. I mean, look, and this is the thing. I think Martial can be and has been on occasion brilliant for Manchester United this season. I just think it's not ideal. And yes, I keep seeing your message, Lincoln. I keep seeing it, and I'm not lying. I just said I heard it somewhere. If you listen to what I'm saying, you might not get a bee in your bonnet about it. You don't have to spam the chat constantly either. Weird. Enjoy writing with another super chat. Sancho, Casemiro, Varane, etc. earn two times more than Ten Hag. Is that what you're saying? How is that supposed to work? It's a major problem that isn't discussed enough. think about it too. So, I mean, look, managers, I think if I'm interpreting this right, you're saying that the players are earning a lot more than the manager, which, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't know any manager that will be earning more than probably what most players are on, in all honesty, at like big teams. It just doesn't happen because the players are the ones that make it happen on the pitch, in all honesty. They're the big time assets. You know, that is just how it is. I mean, Ten Hag's still the boss at the end of the day. That's doesn't matter how much money you earn, how much money you're going to earn. Ten Hag is the boss. But yeah, I think we've covered everything. Let's have a little gander of the Twitter page quick, see if there's anything else that has come out or that I have missed. A little bit on loan players quickly again. He says they're really strong. We mentor them, we follow them, we have communication over the season, especially Darren Fletcher, who invests a lot in such a process. The aim is to bring them back as a better player with experience. Again, exactly, obviously touched on this a little bit earlier. That is exactly the aim of a loan, isn't it? You want them to go out there, get experience at a senior level, at a young age, with the hope and aim of bringing them back in and then being a member of your core squad. And if they're not going to be, then you want them to obviously perform well. If you don't think they're then good enough, you can, hopefully they've impressed in the league or the club that they've been at, and that club or someone in that league might want to burn? Don't want to burn them, want to buy them. That would be good. Yeah, we'll look to buy them, and obviously you're then making a profit. Not saying that's going to happen with Ahmad or any other player that's obviously out on loan, but yeah, I mean, we have for once, off the top of my head, had some half-decent players out on loan. Mati Kovar, we've had Ahmad, we've got Alvaro Fernandez. I'm sure there's other ones that are missing. I mean, Mejbri, I don't know if he's been lighting it up at Birmingham, in all honesty, but you know, that is how it is, guys. And I appreciate your time. Good old press conference. To wrap it up, Rashford is a doubt, and Varane is back in the start. Well, no, he's not back in the starting lineup. He's back in the squad. Getting too ahead of myself. But appreciate your time. Leave a like on your way out. Subscribe if you're not already. And we'll be back. Beth will be back later on, just before 4 p.m. for a little live show with the one and only Don Rickster. So stay tuned for that one. See you later, people.